What's up, my royal chosen family? So, today I just wanted to drop this quick message and explain how us chosen ones are protected by angels. And I just wanted to drop a quick message about a story that happened to me because I think that you might find it interesting, and there might be a few of you who have a similar story to this, especially if you're a chosen one. So if you do, drop it in the comments because I'd like to hear it. So I was about 16, I was like 18 years old. And what had happened was this was back, and this was before I even necessarily could say that I found God. But us chosen ones always had God in our spirit, and we are guarded by angels. It's always been that way for us ever since we were a child, right? And what's crazy about this is they are protecting us even when we're not fully following God, just because we are chosen ones, and God knows that we are here for a greater purpose, that we are here to help others, that we are here to make the world a better place, that we are here for great things. We just have to step into it. So anyways, this was back when I used to party heavy and drink a lot. And this runs in my family. My dad was an alcoholic. All my friends were alcoholics. All my friends were like 5 years older than me. So I was 18 and they were like 23 to 25 years old, right? And we used to have this old school biker that we used to hang out with. And he was like part of a biker gang and all that. And the Hells Angels. I'm sure a lot of you may have heard of them. I'm not sure, but anyways, that's what their name was. So he threw a party with all of us there, and it was a hog roast, and there was a bonfire, there was campers, there was a lot of alcohol going around, and a few of my cousins were there, a bunch of people was there. So we're partying and hanging out all night, and it was my birthday actually, and we are heavily intoxicated at this time, so not in the right mind to make any great decisions, right? Because alcohol obviously makes you make bad choices, bad decisions, all that. My dad actually did 30 years in prison over some alcohol. And so that's something that haunts our generation. That's something that haunts my family. And that's one of the chains that I had to break, was the alcoholism, right? So anyways, we're at this hog roast and we're drinking all night. And I remember sitting there, and the older guys, there was two of them, and they're like, "Ricky, bro, I don't know, I think it was like maybe 10 o'clock at night or so, and we had a heavy buzz going on, and they're like, "Ricky, man, it's your birthday, let's go to this strip club." And at this time I had never been to a strip club, and I was like, why would I want to go to the strip club? I'm already drunk and I'm only 18 years old. So by the time that I get there, or by the time we get there and all that, we're going to be very drunk for one. And how are we going to make it all the way to Columbus from Marion? And I said, and not just that, when we do get there, since I'm only 18 years old, I'm not even going to be able to drink. That's not going to be fun for me. And these two were like, "Oh, don't be scared. Don't be scared, man. It's your birthday. You ain't never been to a strip club. This will be the best night you ever had in your life." Right? And I kept saying no. And then eventually they talked me into it. So I get in this car, and well, before I get in the car, they also, one of the ways they talked me into it, they was like, it doesn't matter if you can't drink when you get there, because we're going to bring a bottle and keep it in the car, and we can drink the whole way there. Right? So that was part of the decision that talked me into it. Okay? And anyways, fast forward. So we get in the car, and we're driving down the street, and I noticed that they pulled this bottle of Jack Daniels out. And they're laughing and joking and listening to music. They're passing the bottle back and forth, taking shots straight out the bottle. And they hand the bottle back to me, and I look back, and they're like swerving on the street. They're swerving back and forth. And this was a moment where an angel was protecting me. Because I remember saying, guys, like it snapped. Like as soon as I see him swerving, I get an uncomfortable feeling in my soul. And I swear on everything I love, something said, it's straight into my intuition. And this is something you chosen ones need to pay attention to, our intuition. It talks to us. God talks to us, and our guardian angels talk to us. I made a video a while ago that was talking about how we are divinely protected. Okay? And this voice, I remember I was like, guys, there's no way that we're going to make it all the way to Columbus like this. And they were like, man, be quiet. Don't be a puss. That's what they said to me. Don't be a puss. And I sit there for a second, and then this voice pops into my intuition, and it says, get out. Right? And mind you, at this time, I had never heard this before. All I do know is that this voice was so powerful that it said, get out, and it made me stop, and I'm like this. And it said it again. It was almost like I could see the words in my head saying, get out. And it struck me. And it was like, it was such a powerful word that I knew that I had to follow it. I didn't know why. I just knew that this was something telling me to get out for a reason. So I'm like, guys, stop the car. Just let me out. And they're like, man, forget that. Don't be scared. If you want to get out, then you can walk from right here. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, that's fine. I don't care. I'll walk from here then. Let me out. And they're like, man, whatever. And they pull over. And I get out of the car. And I start walking, of course. And at this time, I'm so intoxicated that I don't even go back to the party. I go back to my house and pass out. So those two go towards the strip club in Columbus, and somehow, some way, they made it all the way into Columbus. But as they're getting off on an exit, they get hit by a semi. They get hit by a semi, man. And it's hard to talk about, for real. They get hit by a semi, and the passenger died instantly. And this was one of my good friends, both of them. The passenger died instantly. The driver was in a coma for like 3 months. He's in a coma for 3 months. We stopped every single day at this dude's mom's house and gave her our wishes and was like, we're so sorry, and all this. But anyways, let me finish the story. So they wreck. I go home and pass out. I don't know nothing about it. Well, anyways, the biker at the party, back then when this happened, this was back when it was very popular to listen to police scanners. And they had the police scanner on at the party. So I don't know how long it was after they wrecked, but they heard it over the police scanner that a car of such and such color had wrecked, and there was multiple men inside the vehicle, and one of them was gone. So
purchase your tracks today.
I remember I go home and I fall asleep for like a couple hours, and then I get up and it's still like early. It's still like, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And I knew that they was all probably still partying. And there was a lot of people there. So I get up and I go back to this party. And at this time, I didn't know anything about the accident. I get back to this party and everybody starts freaking out, and they're like crying and running up to me and hugging me, and I didn't even know what was going on. Right? All I do know is they were like, dude, how are you here? How are you here? And I was like, how am I here? What do you mean I walked here? And they're like, no, dude, you don't know what happened. And they were like, I was like, what? And they was like, Alan and Kyle wrecked. And Alan died instantly. And Kyle just got life flighted to Columbus. How are you here? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, something told me to get out of that car, man. And it was a powerful word, and I did. Mind you, I was a young kid that made a lot of dumb decisions, and I was drunk, intoxicated. This voice was so powerful that even then I knew to listen to it. So we used to go to Kyle, the one that was in a coma. We ended up finding out he was in a coma. So we're going to his mother's house every day and praying and just telling her, like, look, we're sorry for what happened, and da-da-da-da-da. And she was a mess, obviously. Well, anyways, so 3 months later, Kyle wakes up from his coma. And what's crazy is the cops are there. And they arrest him for vehicular manslaughter. So think about that, man. Like, he just killed his best friend, and now he's going to prison for manslaughter. Okay? And I want you guys to really understand how we are protected by angels. And if you hear that voice talking into your intuition, please always listen to it, chosen ones. It is God and your guardian angel speaking to you. Think about that one small split-second choice that I made. at 18 years old. I was sitting in the back seat with a bottle in my hand, not in a seatbelt or nothing. 18 years old. I would have been gone. My life was saved that day by an angel. And I've had many encounters with things like this. If you go watch some of my previous videos, they'll tell you about it. We are protected by angels, chosen ones. We really are. So we need to do anything that we can to get closer to God and to always listen to our intuition, especially if you know you're a chosen one. But anybody really. But chosen one, our angels and God speaks to our intuition. If you get a little vision or a voice in your head telling you to do something, do it. Because that small choice is the reason I'm still alive today. So I just wanted to tell you this message in hopes that you always pay attention and be aware, because you are protected by angels. You are special. No matter what happens to you, no matter what happens to you, I want you to get some motivation and some hope knowing that you're divinely protected by a guardian angel. So I love y'all, chosen ones. And I just want to stick with y'all in this journey. And I hope you stick with me to the royal chosen kingdom. And if you like this message, can you please like it, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any similar story where you know that you were protected by an angel, or you were just protected and your life was saved somehow, some way, and you didn't realize it then, and this was your moment of clarity, drop it in the comments, because I want to hear about these stories. I love y'all, man. So have a good work week. Stay focused, stay positive, stay blessed.